Welcome to the Little Rock Basketball Radio Show, presented by Stevens.
Welcome to the Little Rock Basketball Coaches Show, the final edition from here in the Rock. I just got word, and Joe Foley doesn't know a lot of this yet, the details. I just told him as he sat down, but we're actually going to do a show next Monday from the beach. Yes, Pensacola Beach is where we will be getting ready for the Sunbelt Conference basketball tournament, and Coach Foley joins us now. We'll probably have a couple of other coaches, the travel party down there, as your Little Rock Trojans on the road this week, the women in the state of Texas, before heading down to Pensacola for the conference tournament. But first, Coach, let's talk about the week that was. And I know we had the show last Tuesday. We talked about the win over Champion Christian, so we get to talk a lot about that nice comeback, 13 points down in the third quarter to beat Arkansas State in Jonesboro, no doubt.
Well, it was quite a deal, and we dug ourselves a big hole by getting into foul trouble the first half. And, when I'm looking over there and Myra and Tia's got 3 fouls,
yeah,
I'm thinking this might be a good time to get sick and go to the dressing room.
I think DJ tried that.
Well, she did. But I was wondering, I said, how are we going to finish this game? I mean, with these guys in that much foul trouble, how are we going to do this? And I looked out there and I looked at her lineup, and I had a kid playing point guard that's never played the point, had 2 bigs on the wing and 2 bigs inside, and I'm thinking, not a whole lot going on right now. So I was, thinking this is going to be pretty tough. But I thought, this is one time when you can say your kids just said, we're not going to give up. Let's keep going. And, I'm pushing and trying to figure out something to do, and they just kept pushing and made it happen.
Well, my mom and dad traveled up to the game. My daughter was up there. We celebrated her birthday on Friday, and they had some nice seats. My mom learned some new words watching you coach.
They're not new words. They're just overused words.
But whatever it was, you said the right thing to motivate your team to come back and win that game.
Like I say, I kept pushing and pushing. Sometimes you just got to keep pushing.
22-11 for Sally Korma, her second double-double as a Trojan, and she's one that you would like to see continue in that mode with what she was able to do Saturday in Jonesboro.
Well, I like the shooting percentage too. I mean, she didn't have to take a lot of shots to get there, and that's what we've been trying to impress is, we got to do a better shooting, take better shots, score the same amount of points, but get better shots, not have to take as many shots to get there. And, I thought that we did a much better job of that. And turnovers, there's too many turnovers, and that kind of helped A-State a little bit. But still overall, I thought that, we just kept banging and banging, and it came out our way.
Well, all of your starters scored in double figures, and you talked about the fact that they had foul trouble. You had 3 players end up with 4 fouls, Rozzy Potter, Tia Harvey, Myra Caicedo. But Caicedo, 13 points, 5 assists. She did have the 5 turnovers, 2 steals in the game for her. And I know you want her to work on limiting those turnovers. Some of them were unforced turnovers, and those are the ones that you really don't like.
Yeah, and she gets in too big a hurry sometimes. She's got plenty of speed, and she doesn't realize that she's going to get by most people just playing normal speed. You don't have to. And when they start trapping, she starts speeding up. And that's what we got to get her with. Hey, understand that when you see that trap, you got plenty of speed. You're going to get around them, so quit panicking and going so fast that you can't stay under control. That's her biggest problem. And at times she'll do it, and then at times she'll get in too big a hurry. But, most of the time, like I say, she can break a press by herself. But when she starts trying to spin and stuff like that, she gets herself in a little bit of trouble.
Daryl Johnson, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 rebounds away from another double-double for her on the season. But she was battling a little bit of illness during the game, had to leave the game multiple times because of that illness.
Well, and that's kind of been the season. I look over there, and we're in having to take a timeout, and I look up, and I've only got 4 sitting there in front of me, and all right, where's the other one? Oh, Coach, he's back there throwing up. And I even made the comment that I said, well, I'm used to this now, so it don't bother me. So we just kept going and, put another kid in and then got her back in. And, that's been kind of the season right there. Just, try to give us what you got. And that's all you can do. And then that's what they've done.
Well, and one time during the game, I saw during a timeout, Bobby walk over and talk to the official and said, hey, look, 13 is battling an illness right now, and she might have to leave the game in the middle of a play or something. If she runs off the court, I mean, it's basically an injury, and then you would get a chance to sub someone for her. I did see her one time during a dead ball. There was a substitute at the scorer's table you had for her. She ran behind the Arkansas State bench because there was a trash can closer to that end of the floor than it would if she would have run to your end of the floor.
Well, and I thought the officials did a good job because, one time I hollered at her because I knew she looked like she was fixing to throw up, and the official's right there. And I said, look, I got one sick. And he said, okay, and she ran off, and the one went run in, and we kept playing. It wasn't we were trying to steal delay some time or get some free time. It was just that's the way it is.
And that's the way it is. That's what you have to deal with this year.
That's what you got to do. So
Little Rock is 14-8, 7-3 in the Sunbelt Conference. They are tied for third in the Sunbelt Conference. But if the conference tournament, started tomorrow, they would be the 4 seed as Appalachian State owns the tiebreaker over Little Rock. I will say this: you control your own destiny. If you win out, you end up in the 2 seed.
Well, they can't ask for any more than that this last part of the week. And, we just hope we stay healthy and can get 2 more games in. And, today is, an example, we're playing with 6, 7 kids sometimes out there. And, you just don't know. And I've got used to, okay, whatever's here. And so we'll play regardless if we can. And if we can't, we won't. But, we're going into the last week, and with all we've been through, and we've got a chance to finish in the top, 4, I don't think you can ask for any more than that.
Especially with what you've been through this season, having the long stretch of 32 days without playing a basketball game to say, hey, yeah, we've got a chance to get a first-round bye in the conference tournament. That's pretty much a win in and of itself right there.
It is, and that's what I'm saying. We've been through so much and so many. We went through the flu, lost 5 or 6 players, lose 7 games, and then go through COVID. And, it's kind of unrealistic that we're even in the top. You could just say, hey, how are these kids even playing? And, right now I think that we're starting to figure out how to play a little bit. And it's fun right now. It's getting back to fun. But I know how that can change in a second too. And, the last 2 seasons, you just can't keep going. And that's what I'm used to is just better tournament. And this year, last year it's all right, we're here. Now we're going backwards. We're here. We're going backwards. And we're finally making a little progress right now, but I know it could all change tomorrow and go backwards again.
It could in an instant. Little Rock undefeated in Sunbelt Conference play on the road, and that's where Little Rock goes this week. 2 games in the state of Texas, Arlington on Thursday, San Marcos on Saturday. But let's talk about that win over Arkansas State. Destiny Rogers didn't have the availability of Trinity Jackson, one of her big post players, and so she basically tried to speed us up in that game.
Well, I think they're, especially at home, they shoot the ball pretty well, and that's what we had told our kids. If they miss some threes down here, they're not going to miss at home, and it's going to make the game seem different. And, down here I thought we did a good defensive job, but we also, the shots that they're going to get that they missed, they're probably going to make it home, and it's going to make it a much tougher game. And that's exactly what it was. They got some open threes, and they knocked them down up there. And then you put the foul trouble on top of that, you're in trouble. And we dug ourselves a hole, and I didn't know if we could dig our way out of it, but we did. And like I say, I think that gives, your kid, you got to give them a pat on the back for just saying, hey, you didn't quit. You didn't put your head down. A lot of teams put their heads down when that starts happening, start blaming, and, we just kept rolling.
Well, Little Rock got out-rebounded 35-33. A-State, 9 of 24 from behind the 3. They were 4 of 18 in the jack. That tells you the difference right there. We're back after this to the Embassy Suites in West Little Rock, talking more with Coach Joe Foley. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Simmons Bank, for your support of Little Rock Trojans volleyball,
Women's track and field and cross country.
Women's golf. Women's soccer.
Women's basketball.
Thank you, Simmons Bank, for your support of Little Rock Trojan women's swimming and diving.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Welcome back to Embassy Suites in West Little Rock. Embassy Suites Little Rock is in the business district and minutes from the campus of UA Little Rock. Embassy Suites is the official hotel of your Little Rock Trojans. Embassy Suites Little Rock, a great place to stay. We're talking it over with Joe Foley, the head women's basketball coach of your Little Rock Trojans. I am Trey Schapp. We'll be joined by Darryl Walker later in the show, the head men's coach of the Little Rock Trojans. Coach, 21 points off of turnovers against Arkansas State. They turned the ball over 17 times. We turned the ball over 14 times, but ASU was only able to convert that into 7 points. So that was a help right there, the fact that even when we did turn the ball over, we kind of shut them down at times defensively.
Yeah, and that kind of made up for the offensive rebounds that they got when we were fouling and stuff. But, I thought, especially the second half, I thought we converted some big plays off turnovers by them. So I thought that was good for us.
28 points in the paint, 26 for Arkansas State. Were you surprised that they were able to get so much inside the paint with as small as they were?
Well, they do a lot of driving. It's not post play, and they're kind of like us. We don't get a whole lot of points from our post players, but we get a whole lot of points from driving in and either dishing it off or pulling up and shooting it. And that's what you got to do. If you don't have a dominant post player, then you still have to get points in the paint, and that's a lot of teams have to do that.
There were 10 lead changes, 7 times that the game was tied in that game. A-State led for 29 minutes and 42 seconds. Little Rock led for 8 minutes and 1 second. But the time on the clock when it said 0-0, Little Rock was leading.
That's when you want to lead. When that clock runs out, that's when you want to lead.
And it was nice, too, that the officials called the illegal screen on their inbound attempt because they would have probably tried to at least get a 2 to send it into overtime. I didn't like our chances if it went into overtime because of the foul situation.
Exactly.
And then if they hit a 3, well, then they walk off and win. But they did not.
That was a heck of a defensive play by Myra. And the kid, it was obvious the kid pushed her off. And that was a big defensive play right there, and that was good.
And then for Kai Sato then to walk down to the other end and hit the 2 free throws as well.
She, we've had a few troubles at the free throw line, and, it's showing up at times, and, that's something that, you wish would get better. But free throws is a lot about confidence, and, you got to walk up there and relax and just knock it down.
13 of 21 in that game from the line, but I will say this. Azaria Robinson stepped to the line after getting fouled, making the shot. She is now 4 of her last 4 at the free throw line.
Well,
she was one that struggled early.
She did, and I will give her credit. She stayed in the gym for a few days, and I think she was shooting like 100 free throws a day before she went to the dressing room. So, that just shows you practice pays off. And, she did it, and you got to give her credit for it, and I'm proud of her.
Maybe now you'll put her at the line to shoot the technicals?
Nope.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Reserve that for Tia Harvey.
So far, she's the one that showed me she could knock it down when the pressure was on.
Yeah, she was 2 of 2.
And she's she's not the as far as percentage, she's not the best one, but she seems to be the best one under pressure.
Yeah, percentage-wise, I believe Angelique Francis is the best. Her and Sally.
I think she's shooting 73. I don't think Sally's up there.
She's around 70.
Is she? And she's missed some here lately.
She has. Yeah, she was 7 of 10. In that 22-point effort on Saturday.
Yeah, and she shot it better than she has I think the last 2 games she was 0 for 2 in both games or so.
Do you feel like maybe her confidence is starting to come back? Maybe she lost it a little bit?
I think so, and she's getting a little more confidence in her knees, and that's the key is she just, she lost her conditioning, she had a little soreness, and when you start having to play through all that, then you lose confidence in what you're trying to do, and I think now starting to have a little more fun, starting to do some things, starting to get involved a lot more, and, becoming the player that she was at the first of the year.
Well, let's switch our attention to the great state of Texas and the trip down to Texas, UT Arlington.
Do you know anybody good from Texas?
I know one person good from Texas, and that's about it. Actually, I know several. It's the family that I know that's good. Yes, one is here tonight. Thankfully, my wife is here. So yeah,
exactly. And we've got a lot of kids from Texas, so I'm just joking.
I know you are.
Anybody's out there, Texas is our best recruiting ground. I love Texas kids, and we've had a lot of success with them.
And I think you'll still stay in the state of Texas for a little bit, even with moving to the OVC, or will that change up a little bit?
We got to play as many games as we can in Texas because we're going to recruit Texas. So, we get, of course, Coach Blair's leaving A&M, so we'll have to see how that goes.
Maybe get Schaefer at Texas.
I'm sure Schaefer will pick us up.
SMU.
We've been trying for years to get SMU, TCU, Rice. We always want any of those schools that want to play. We're going to play. Hopefully, we'll still play Texas Arlington. We used to play North Texas a lot, so I'd love to get them back on the schedule. And Dallas is only about a 4.5-hour trip, so I mean, as many schools we get to play in that area would be great.
And I know all the good places to go eat, and that's in Dallas too.
Quite a few.
Snuffers, the cheddar fries there.
Snuffer, and of course, Whataburger. Anytime we cross the line,
the girls want Whataburger.
That's where you got to stop. Whataburger.
I actually got a Whataburger gift card today, so Whataburger next week. This week in Texas sounds right.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll talk one more quick time about the Arkansas State series, and then we'll turn our attention to UT Arlington and Texas State coming up this weekend down in the Lone Star State. Back after this. Stay with us.
It's time to expect more from yourself, from us, from the typical college experience. UA Little Rock offers world-class programs, including business, computer science, criminal justice, cybersecurity, engineering, and nursing. But there's so much more. Expect to be amazed by state-of-the-art facilities. Expect to be challenged by motivated faculty. And expect a welcome place in the heart of Arkansas. University of Arkansas at Little Rock.
Sport builds us up. It strengthens our bodies. It strengthens our resolve. Sport teaches us lessons of grace or humility or humanity, and that we're far more powerful together. Winning the hour or winning the year. We're winning our lives. We're winning our way. Because while a season is short, fierce is forever.
Welcome back to West Little Rock and the Embassy Suites. It's the Little Rock Basketball Coaches Show. Want to thank AC Delco and Bumper to Bumper, UAMS, Simmons Bank, Arkansas Blue Cross Blue Shield, Datamax, Arkansas Best Chevy Dealers, Stevens Inc., PI Roofing, Pepsi, Tipton and Hurst, Baptist Health, Bell Chevrolet, and Diamond Bear Brewing. I am Trey Shepp, joined by the head coach of your Little Rock Trojans, Joe Foley. And, Coach, real quick, man, it's always nice to sweep Arkansas State.
No, it is. It is. And the fans like it, the administration likes it, so it's a plus. There ain't no doubt. To beat them at our place first, and pretty well. We've been in that gym for 17 years,
and they've never won.
And they've never won there.
Well, I want to get your reaction to that, because there are not a lot of schools out there that can say our rival has never beaten us in our home gymnasium. But Little Rock is one that can.
It's one that can, and that's something that each year I keep thinking, records are made to be broken, and this one's fixing to get broken, and it didn't. So, you just keep each year, you just keep hoping you can keep it alive, because that's just kind of unreal that happens, and then you turn around and you go to their place and play a week later, and I knew the kids, it's hard to understand and try to tell kids, hey, that game doesn't mean anything now. We're starting all over, and they're going to hit some of those shots that they missed, so you're going to have to play a lot better. And I think they found out pretty quick that what I told them was the truth. And,
no doubt.
It took a little while for us to get us in sync, and but we got it done. So, I give them credit to be able to beat A-State. There's been a lot of years we've been up there. They've had some great teams, and, it's been a war up there. And we've had a lot of great games up there, and I'd say we're probably about 50-50 up there, since, the last 10 years, probably about what we are. And, that's credit to them, too. They play hard at home.
No doubt about it. All right, let's switch our attention to looking forward to this week at UT Arlington on Thursday night. That game's going to tip off at 7 o'clock, so we'll be on the air over on the Sports Animal 920 at 6:40. They were a team that came into the Jack Stevens Center, and you only had one day to prepare. They like to play multiple defenses against you. So now that you have a little more time to prepare, maybe we don't get down by 20, even though we got back into that game, still lost it. But maybe this time we don't get down so far.
Well, I hope we don't dig a hole like we did here at home. And that's, like you say, we did fight back in that game and got it close. But you don't want to have to do that on the road, especially. It's hard to do that on the road. So, I hope we get off to a better start. We got the start in on them today. and look at film from, the last game. We watched them play Louisiana Lafayette at home. So, and Lafayette beat them at their place, which is a big plus for them. And so we looked at some of the things that they did. We looked at a few of the things that we did the last time we played them that we need to correct. And, hopefully we'll have a better game on there on Thursday.
Also the fact that Azaria Robinson, it seems like when she plays against bigger post players, she's played up to the level that she's needed to in those games. Is she one that you might be counting on in this game against Arlington because of their size?
Well, they've got great size, and that's what they're so different than anybody in the conference because the point guard's about 5'8", 5'9", and she can post Meyer up, and then every guard they got is right around 6 foot. So about anybody can post you up at any time. They can all handle the ball pretty well. They can take it off the rim, off the backboard and go with it. They don't look to just get it out to the point guard and let them run. So that's a big change that they got, that they can all handle it. They can go down the floor with it. And they just cause a lot of problems offensively. And that's where they're beating a lot of people. That's the reason they're, second or third in the league. Mm-hmm. And, that's because they're so versatile and so big that they can score a lot of points in a hurry. And, they try multiple defenses. And they keep you a little bit off guard on that in that sequence that they're always changing their defense. So you've got to be real smart on offense. But I do think that's probably the little bit of weakness they give you is they're not used to just getting down and saying, all right, we got to get a stop. We got to stay in front of this person. That they're using the change of defense to try to make you turn it over instead of just saying we're going to stop you. And so that's the reason you've got a chance sometimes to come back on them because you can score at times if you know what you're doing.
The College Park Center, it's a nice mid-major gym, kind of like the Jack Stevens Center, like the Trojan Arena in Troy, Alabama. It's the only nice thing I'll say about Troy is they've got a nice arena. But you look at the College Park Center, and it's a nice, intimate environment, and it can get loud at times.
Oh, it can. And, the thing that, people don't realize when we built our facility, all those schools came in and checked out our facility, and a lot of them really enjoyed and liked it. And that's the reason a lot of schools in our conference have got this facility like we've got because we did a great job with what we done. I think we actually got the design from Gonzaga, if I remember. I think that's a little bit where it kind of came from. So, you're always looking for good things, and I think they picked up on it.
And then we head to San Marcos, Texas. I hope Tuck survived down there. There's a good Mexican joint down there, Casa Mañana, I believe, or Casa Maria.
He's not missing in action, is he?
I did talk to him tonight, and whether or not he had help to get back, we don't know about that yet. But Casa Maria is a place that's known for famous extra-large margaritas.
I'm sure.
And I'm sure Tuck found that. I'm sure he did too. But Strahan Coliseum there, boy, it has not been kind to us.
You talking all the places that in the conference that's tough to play at. To me, that's the toughest one.
What makes it so tough?
I'm not sure. I don't know. We've never shot the ball well. I don't know if it's the design, the lighting, or what. But for some reason, they probably beat us more at their place than any team in the conference.
One thing I did notice in getting ready for tonight and watching the men play is they've got a new floor. And they've got a new design on their floor with the TXST across the state of Texas as opposed to the Bobcat logo that they've had. So maybe a new floor, maybe that'll be what we needed to see. Who knows? But you're right. Those sight lines in there, and it looked dark, and the color scheme and everything, it just has been a tough place to play. And do you like the fact that we're playing Arlington first and then Texas State because of the multiple defenses that Arlington likes to use to get ready for that game first?
A little bit because, like I say, and just looking at the standings and looking at where Arlington and what they've done is they're probably a little bit tougher right now. And I know they're bigger, and so we got to prepare. We kind of know Texas State, they're pretty well the same every year, so you got a little bit more idea what they're going to do. And, so we last time it was vice versa, so we went through that. So it's, I think it's a switch for us that'll be good. I think both of them is going to be very tough, and I think it's going to be hard. I know A-State, I told you if we won 2 out of 3, it'd probably be nearly unrealistic to win 3. I don't think that, that's going to happen. But you're trying. You take them one at a time, but this is a tough road.
You told me before the Troy game in the locker room, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And I told you, I said, Coach, they don't play the games on paper.
That's true.
And they don't play these two games on paper. So we're going to go down there. We'll throw the ball up. We'll see what happens.
And, that's Sally wasn't really playing at Troy, and you think, okay, you got your leading scorer out. How you going to play? It's hard enough to play there anyway.
Right.
And it happened. And like you say, you go and we're going to give it a try, and we'll see what happens.
Well, the games previous against Texas State and UT Arlington, for those that forgot, we lost to Texas State in the longest game in women's basketball history, or women's program history at Little Rock, I should say, 69-65 in 3 overtimes. And then we turned around, got down by 20 to UT Arlington, ended up losing that one 64-53 after coming back and making it close, and just couldn't get over the hump in that one. But hopefully this time down to the state of Texas, we can get over the hump and get 2 wins and set yourself up nice for the conference tournament that starts next week, a week from Wednesday.
Well, exactly. And, that's what everybody, every time you turn the TV on, that's what everybody's doing right now. Some of them trying to get the NCAA, some of them are trying to get the seeds, some of them are trying to get ready for the conference tournament. So this is the reason you call it March Madness. March Madness is here now. You've
always said you want to have your team peaking when you get to March. And I know there are a lot of different variables with the injuries and the sickness going on, but how do you feel your team is right now as you get ready for this stretch run, these 2 games here and then down in Pensacola?
Well, I think that anybody will tell you in the last 3 weeks we've progressed. Now, whether we're where we would be, I don't think we're where we would have been if we'd have had those other games and those other practices. I still think we'd be a better ball club, but at least we've progressed, and that's all you can ask your kids to do is get better each day, get better each week, and see where you're at. And so I think we've done a good job of that. And I've enjoyed being around them the last couple of weeks because they are playing harder, they're playing smarter. They're not where you want them, but I don't know if anybody is right now.
Daryl Johnson told me that you told him, hey, if you win these 3 games, you're going to get to spend some time on the beach.
You do. I mean, that's the rewards that you get if you do the right things, and that's, you just got to be honest. And I've never been a coach that said, hey, you got to win this game, you got to win that game, because that's just putting pressure on them. But you got to be realistic. Okay, if you do this, this, and this is what happens. If you do this, this is what happens. And you just got to go play, and whatever happens, happens. And so that last week, you got to be ready to play. And every game right now it gets a little bit more magnified, and that's what you tell your kids. Everything you're doing right now is you're trying to erase something that you're doing bad, so when you get in a tournament, you're not worried about making that mistake. And the more you can get erased, the better off you're going to be when you get to the tournament.
The Little Rock women are on a 6-game winning streak right now. Troy leads the league at 11-2. Little Rock was the last team to knock off Troy. They have a 7-game winning streak going. UT Arlington 10-3. Little Rock is tied with Appalachian State, both at 7-3, but App State holds the tiebreaker there. Louisiana comes in at 5th at 7-4, followed by Texas State 8-5, Georgia Southern 7-5, and then it's Arkansas State at 4-8, followed by Coastal Carolina and Georgia State at 3-8. South Alabama's 2-8, and ULM is 0-12.
Well, and the thing that you got to understand too is
the percentages.
The percentages mean something this year. Before, percentages didn't mean anything because everybody played the same amount of games. So, the teams that's played more games, they are in a better situation probably than the teams that didn't get to play. And so with us missing those 4 conference games, that's hurting us a little bit right now because Troy's played every conference game practically. Is that
They've played 13 games.
13, so they just missed 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, if they keep winning, or even if they lose one, it may not hurt their percentage as much as what it hurts our percentage.
Yeah, it would not. I mean, if they lost a game, they would still have the percentage. Now, UT Arlington, depending on what they do, they could tie with Troy, and then it would go to the tiebreaker. And I think UT Arlington Troy beat UT Arlington, so they would hold the tiebreaker there for the conference tournament. But you're right, the percentages. I mean, we're tied at 70%, and that's why even I was thinking going in, if we end up losing to Arlington on Thursday and beat Texas State, that's the game that mattered the most, the Texas State game. But it's not, because then we could end up with a tie with Louisiana and still App State. So we need to win both of these games.
I think you got to win both, and that's what I'm saying. It's tough. But we'll see what happens.
They'll take a 1-point win in both of them, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
And then head to the beach.
I'd rather have a forfeit. I wish it was a forfeit.
No, we don't need those. We don't need those.
Forfeits counts as games.
Well, they're not going to forfeit, though, Coach. We got to find a way to get there. There's supposed to be some bad winter weather down in Texas.
If you were a good announcer, you'd make them forfeit some way. You'd get them in.
You want me to find a way?
I want you to find a way.
Okay, I'll try. We're back.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. Meet new friends or reconnect with some old ones and find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Step into the new with a new Chevy. Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy vehicles. Plus, on select models, current competitive owners get an additional $750 bonus cash. See your Arkansas Best Chevy dealer.
Welcome back to Embassy Suites in Little Rock. Embassy Suites Little Rock is in the business district and minutes from the campus of UA Little Rock. Embassy Suites is the official hotel of your Little Rock Trojans. Embassy Suites Little Rock, a great place to stay, joined by Darryl Walker, the head coach of your Little Rock Trojans. And, Coach, man, it was a rough trip to the state of Texas. Trip to Arlington and San Marcos. I asked Coach Foley, I said, I did talk to Tuck today, so I don't know how Casa Maria was to him. But, I mean, hey, you can be a witness. Did he make it out of Casa Maria okay?
Ray Tucker? Yeah, he survived. The problem was it's the Embassy Suites in San Marcos. It's a really good happy hour.
Oh, yes.
So
as
Ray,
most Embassy Suites
Ray
have.
Was, what should I say? Ray had a good night.
I think Tuck always has a good night.
Ray had a good night.
Coach, let's talk first off about the game against the Mavericks, UT Arlington. You guys beat them earlier in the year in overtime here at the Jack, and, boy, they jumped out 12-0.
Basically like 14-0, and it was nothing that they were doing. It was more of what we were doing. We just kept turning the basketball over, and I sat there with my legs crossed and refused to call the timeout and said, you guys are going to figure it out right now. Once the game went on a little further, the official came up to me and said, Coach, it's shocking. Most coaches would jump up and call a timeout. I said, what am I going to call a timeout for? We're doing it to ourselves. So if I call a timeout and we go back out there and we do the same thing, what good was the timeout? He said, Coach, you got a point there. So I'm just a little different about that. If it's something that I think I need to call a timeout, I will. But if it's just something we're being scary, we just turn the basketball over on unforced turnovers, that's on the players at that time.
When they made that first shot, were you surprised that they jumped into the press as early as they did?
No, because we struggled with it against some other teams, and I watched film, and I told Jordan Jefferson, and I told DJ Smith, two freshman point guards, I said, teams are going to attack you guys. They think you can handle the pressure. I said, until you can prove that you can handle the pressure, this is what you're going to see. We settled down in the first half about 10 minutes after 10 minutes of the game had going on and started breaking the pressure. That wasn't the issue, but we already spotted them 14 points.
Right, you can't do that.
No,
specifically on the road.
No, and we got back on the road and an unhealthy team. So we can't do that. We did that, and we eventually got back in the basketball game, though.
What is it about playing teams like that you are seeing with your team this year? And when you get into the huddle, how are your guys reacting when you have the media timeouts or when you do call a timeout? How are they reacting to what you have seen on the court and trying to get them to do?
Well, I just try to tell them what y'all want me to do. I'm not the one throwing the basketball away. You guys are throwing the basketball away. I said, do our press offense that we've been working on all these years. Nothing has changed since I've been the coach. Just execute it. Just attack the pressure. And then once they settle down, they did start attacking the pressure. And sometimes in timeouts, I just look at them and say, you guys got something to say? I said, because I know what's going on, and you know what's going on out there. We just turn the ball over, unforced turnovers.
When you break a press, the easiest way, what are the easiest ways to break a press, whether it be a zone press or man-to-man?
Make two guard one. And, if you guys are in a little 2-2-1, I'm going to keep attacking till two guys come. If two guys don't come, then if I'm one-on-one with you and I can't get past you, I need to take you out the basketball game.
Right.
So, and I tell my guys all that, make two guard one. It's just like when teams play zone. Coach Sutton used to always say, attack the gap or throw the ball over the top and suck the defense in, get the ball over the top in the middle. So, you're talking about starting two freshman point guards out there. I mean, these guys just come out of high school, and they're going to make some mistakes, but their growth has been very good.
I was going to say, from where you had to insert them into games this season and into the starting lineup, I mean, I think you've played 15 different starting lineups this year.
Too many.
Right.
Really, too many.
Right.
Too many starting lineups. Can't get a rhythm, can't get any rhythm or continuity at all.
The growth that you've seen in those guys, though, the freshmen.
Well, I told Jordan Jefferson the way Alton attacked him, they saw something on film. I said, and by the way, young fella, you are now on people's scouting reports. I said, you averaged about 14 points over the last 6 games. You're on team scouting reports. They're now got you on the board. Said Jordan Jefferson, really good shooter, can go off the dribble, pressure him, doesn't like pressure. I said, I guarantee that's what's on the board. But you now in somebody's scouting report. When you're not in anybody's scouting report, you can get off and get some points. They're like,
right.
Oh, this guy, we don't know this guy. After 2 or 3 games, they see you getting 14 points, and no, he's on the scouting report.
And they also know which way he likes to
yes.
go, and they're going to keep you from going that way.
Be physical with him.
Right.
And does the same thing with DJ. These guys are starting and playing minutes, so they're definitely in the scouting report.
When you go through a game like that and then you have to travel on Friday, get ready for a tough Texas State team and a quick turnaround, and Strahan Coliseum, I don't know about for the Little Rock men, but I know for the women it's been a difficult place to play.
No, Texas State is a beautiful facility. Coach Johnson does a great job with his team down there, and it's tough for us to win down there. And we went back to the hotel. I started breaking the film down, started watching some film. The next morning, watched some more film, and we just took a trip down to San Marcos. And 4 o'clock game, I wasn't going to have any shoot around the next day. We just kind of got some rest, and we really played well down there because, to be honest with it, with 1 minute and 50 seconds in the game, Coach Hodge tapped me on the shoulder and said, Coach, look at the score. They only have 60 points, and that's true. The problem was we had 48.
Right.
So
right.
we had done a very good job.
Defensively.
You're on the road, and you hold a team, the number 1 team in the conference, to 60 points with 1 minute and 50-something left in the game. And your problem is you only got 48 yourself. That's the problem.
But if I would have sat here and told you last Tuesday on the show, Coach, you're going to have Texas State down to 60 points with about 2 minutes to go in the game, you would have taken it.
Yeah, I would say we had a chance to win the basketball game, and we did, but we just couldn't make no shots down the end.
What is it? Is it just mental?
Well, when Nicole is
healthy. Are they forcing them?
No, when Nicole is healthy, we can throw the ball into the post and play off of him a little bit and get a very high percentage shot. When Nicole is not in the game with us, everything becomes you're relying on making jump shots, and that's hard to do night in and night out, make jump shots. You have to be able to get to the foul line. You have to be able to get to the basket. You have to be able to post up something, and we don't have any post-up game right now.
You've told me before, rebounding, and you look at the game against Texas State, and you're right there, 26-25.
We're right there. I said if we're in margin with 10, and I don't know what we shot from the field. It probably wasn't a good percentage.
You were 39.8, and they were 52.2. That's the difference.
Yeah, and they still only got 60 points. The problem is we could have shot 45%. Could have been a totally different basketball game. Doesn't seem like 39 to 45, but yes, in a basketball game, that's big.
And then the turnovers kind of crept up and got you in that one.
Well, the turnovers, we've been only averaging 12 in the Sunbelt, to be honest about it. We've done a great job. I put on the board every game, 12 turnovers or less, you're going to have a chance to win. So our problem is we got to be able to score consistently, and that's what we haven't been able to do.
Well, you are back at home after 2 weeks on the road, and
still
I know that
score.
Well, I know you still got to score. You got to find a way to score.
That don't change.
The Little Rock men are 8-16, 3-9 in Sunbelt Conference play, and as you get ready for this 2-game home set before heading down to Pensacola for the conference tournament, besides scoring, what is your message to the team?
That it's wide open. App State had the same identical record we had last year. They beat us 65-60 in the first round because we didn't make any shots, and they shot the daylights out the basketball. And they went on to win the tournament. Anybody can beat anybody. I've seen everybody in this conference, and anybody can beat anybody on any given day. And that's what I told my guys today. We had a really physical practice. I was shocked how physical it was on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. And I just told my team, if you play with that aggression, these next 2 games and take it to Pensacola, you can shock some people.
Are you worried with how physical you are in practices with your low numbers?
Well, I only went for an hour.
You're saving their legs.
I only went for an hour. I believe in saving their legs. Even when we're healthy, I believe in saving our legs. In the regular season, I'll go hard. Monday, if like we playing Wednesday, and I play Thursday, I would go hard Monday, Tuesday. I mean, really hard, condition, everything. And then Wednesday would be kind of just get a lot of shots up. Get in the cold tub, get some free throws in, walk through some stuff offensively and defensively. And so come Thursday, you should be ready to play.
Was this something that the league decided to do the Wednesday, Friday on the last week of the regular season?
I don't know what this league is doing. Why don't you call the commissioner and talk to him?
he doesn't like to hear from me.
Hey, I'm sure he don't want to hear from me either, but we'll leave that alone. I don't know what they're doing. That's over my pay scale, and I just leave it. Whatever the schedule is, that's what we're going to play.
Yeah,
because nothing we can do about it. That's a quick turnaround. Wednesday, Friday is a real quick turnaround, especially with a team that's that's depleted like we are.
Right. So Wednesday night, 6:30, right here on 106.7 Buzz 2 against Appalachian State. Ray Tucker will have the call from the Jack Stevens Center. And then Friday night, 6:30 against Coastal Carolina before you head down to the Sunbelt Conference Tournament. Coach, what's your travel schedule for Pensacola?
I got to ask my basketball op guy, and he's not here. I think we may go in 2 days before. I think that's what he told me.
Tuesday?
Yeah, try to go in 2 days before because I wanted to do that because it's such – I think we're going to have the first game, like 11 o'clock game. So it's no sense of going – I want to go in 2 days before.
Once you get done with Friday in the game against Coastal Carolina and you know your seating, will you adjust your practice times to try and simulate that early start time?
When I get closer to it, maybe. I may have 11 o'clock practice a couple of times and do that. But other than that, after Friday, I'm gonna get away for a while and just relax, go up to Fayetteville and watch the Kentucky game and see some friends and just kind of unwind and watch some other coaches on the sideline sweat while I watch. And come on back home and just start game planning for where we got to play.
The last time I believe Cal was in that building, he got tossed. He didn't get to see the whole game.
Yeah, I may try to visit with Cal before the game, and he's an energetic guy. If you get him alone, he's full of stories and full of energy. He's a good guy.
I've got a Cal story I'll tell you during the break. I don't want to say it on the air, but I will tell you during the break, John Calipari's story. We're going to come back after the break. We'll talk about App State and Coastal Carolina, the two teams that come to the Jack this weekend. You're listening to the Little Rock Basketball Coaches Show right here on 106.7 Buzz 2. Stay with us.
Just 40 minutes from Little Rock at the Saracen, it's always fun. Craps, poker, slot machine, lots of money will be won. Come and win or come to eat, mama, get the best steak you ever had. You want to be at the Saracen, heck, you've seen it in this ad. Woo! Saracen, whoa, come to win. Saracen, come to win.
Welcome back to the Little Rock Basketball Coaches Show. Trey Schapp joined by Darrell Walker, the head coach of your Little Rock Trojans. And, Coach, App State comes in on Wednesday night. Tough turnaround for them, too. I mean, they've got to travel. The good thing is you guys just had to travel back from Texas. But you get App State at home, and they're a team that, like you said, last year conference tournament right there could have gone either way. And I'm going to say this. If you hit your shots Wednesday night, you're going to win the basketball game.
Well, we shoot 45. We shoot 45 to 47%. And if you go back and look at all our wins, we probably shot in that range or a little higher. If we do that, we'll have a chance to win the basketball game. So we'll just see. And I know we've been losing and we won here and there. But we're playing pretty good basketball. We just can't close it out. Can't finish it.
Why do you think that is?
We're not. We're just not
young.
We're young and we don't
have the experience.
We don't have enough. You know, we got guys playing 40 minutes out there, 37 minutes, 38 minutes on a consistent basis out there. So eventually your leg's going to get tired every once in a while doing the game, and I try to sub as much as I can. But if I had my whole team, it'd be just a little different story because I'd be so much deeper, and these guys just playing so many minutes now wouldn't be playing those minutes.
What do you see in Appalachian State? Have they changed any from what you saw the previous time when you faced them in Boone?
Heavily three-point shooting team. We're going to have to take care of the three-point line. Going to have to rebound the basketball. With 5 minutes left in the game, I think it was a 4-point game there. At App State, thought we had a chance to win it and didn't score the rest of the 5.5 minutes in the game, didn't score again. So that's been our MO. We can stay in games. In games when we can shoot it the whole time, the whole game, we usually have a really good chance. We usually win games.
And then the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina come to the Jack on Friday night. That
Uncle
game.
Cliff.
Yep. Cliff Ellis used to be down at Auburn in the SEC, and you didn't get to see him in your trip to Conway this year.
I called him after the game when I was breaking down the film, and he answered the phone. I said, Cliff, the wrong person on the team got COVID. I wish some of your players would have got COVID. he fell out laughing.
Yeah.
I think Cliff doesn't get enough due for how good a basketball coach he is. 800 and something wins. You don't get 800 and something wins without
Right.
winning a lot of basketball games.
I forgot to say this when Coach
that's
Foley
a
was
lot of
here.
wins.
Yeah, I mean, he just won 830.
Yeah, I mean, when you win 800 wins, that's longevity. That's doing it. I don't know how long Coach Foley's done it, but he's done it over 40 years, hasn't he?
Yeah, I believe he's in his 36th year as a collegiate head coach.
Close to 40 years, and Uncle Cliff has done it a long time. So you start talking about winning 800 wins, that's Hall of Fame numbers.
With a coach like Cliff Ellis, you know what you're going to get.
Cliff's he may play a boxing one, he may play who knows what he may do. But he's been successful all these years, and that's why he has 800 wins. That's why he's been successful everywhere. That means he can coach, and he also can recruit.
The game at Coastal Carolina, you guys jumped on him early, and then you had one of those dry spells.
No, we never dry spell. We missed 13 shots in a row.
Well, okay, that's more than a drought. That's a drought, isn't it?
That's the desert, man. We missed 13 shots in a row. We did. And, I think the score at halftime was 22-16.
Yeah.
You would think you hold a team to 22 points, you would think that you would be ahead, maybe 30-22. 22-16 was the score at halftime, and we were right there on the road once again, 22-16. And that's what missing 13 shots in a row.
And that's when you guys started at Coastal and then went to Boone to take on Appalachian State. This time you faced the Mountaineers first before you faced the Chanticleers. And
what? What is that?
I was going to ask you, do you know what a Chanticleer is?
No. Do you guys know?
Some people say it's a mythical chicken.
Well, you know what? I'm going to ask Uncle Cliff that before the game.
Well,
Friday night. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to say, Cliff, what the hell is a Chanticleer? I'm going to ask him.
Chanticleer.
I can't pronounce it.
That's okay. You don't need to pronounce it.
He probably don't know what it is either, to be honest about it.
Here you go. I've got the answer for you. The number one question asked of those associated with the Coastal Carolina University Department of Athletics is, what is a Chanticleer? Well, a Chanticleer comes from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. More specifically, he comes from the Nun's Priest Tale, a story with Canterbury Tales. The Chanticleer is a proud and fierce rooster who dominates the barnyard.
So it's a barnyard pimp, huh?
It's a.
Is that what it is? What is it? Is that what it is?
They say, for crowning there was not his equal in all the land. His voice was merrier than the merry organ that played in the church.
You sound like a preacher right now.
I'm just telling you what it says, Coach.
You sounding just like a preacher, my man.
You don't have to know how to pronounce it.
You're going to want to pass the plate in a second.
We might do that. But, and it's spelled Chanticleer, but is pronounced Chanticleer.
I'm going to ask.
Ask Cliff if he knows.
Before the game starts, I'm going to walk down there and I'm going to ask him.
Ask him if he knows what a Chanticleer is, and I want you to report back.
He ain't going to know. I can tell you, Uncle Cliff ain't going to
know. Let's look at the Sunbelt Conference standings. Texas State on the top. App State right behind them.
How many games separates those two?
Let's see. Texas State is 10-3, and App State is 11-5. But see, App State's played 16 games. Texas State's only played 13. But the percentage is there.
Yeah, but I think App State would get it because they played more games.
Well, but they're not going to have the higher percentage.
No.
They're going to go with the percentages this
year.
They're
going with the percent. Well, they're going to be out then.
Yeah.
They're not out. I take that back. They're not out.
They've got a chance.
They got a chance.
I think they have a chance. And then followed by Troy, Georgia State, South Alabama, Arkansas State, Louisiana, UTA, Coastal Carolina, ULM, Georgia Southern, and Little Rock. And you guys are by no means locked into the last spot. I mean, you can win this week and jump up and jump over some people.
I never look at the standings. Who's ahead of us?
Georgia Southern.
Okay.
28% winning percentage at 4 wins and 10 losses.
Yeah.
But you were telling me earlier this year on the show here that there were some teams like South Alabama who was picked to be towards the top of the league and some others that were not.
Georgia State was picked to be at the top. Louisiana Lafayette was picked in the top 3. All those teams were in the top 3. And you just never know. All these predictions, you just never know until the season starts.
Right. That was my mother-in-law trying to FaceTime me for whatever reason.
And you didn't FaceTime her?
But you want me to next time she answers? I mean, we can talk to her if you want.
Well, you got a problem. That's your problem, not mine.
Well, my wife is sitting here. I didn't want to answer
But you didn't answer. You said you didn't want to answer. You said it like you.
Well, we're trying to do a show, Coach.
You got a problem with your mother?
No.
I was just checking.
No, she texted me earlier today. I love her. I mean,
I was just making sure.
But I know why she's calling me.
Okay.
I had a birthday today, so she's trying to call, wish happy birthday and all that stuff. She already texted me this morning, so why she calls now, I don't know.
That's a conversation you have to have with your mother-in-law.
But I'm going to see her Thursday, hopefully, at the game against UT Arlington that the women play.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I will be watching Wednesday night. I will be watching Friday night from Texas, and let's hope Little Rock gets 2 wins.
Let's try it. Appreciate
all right,
it.
Daryl Walker joining us here. And, yes, we will have a show from Pensacola, same time, same place, next Monday. And Coach Walker will record a segment with Ray Tucker, and we'll have that on the show. So enjoy, everybody, and go Trojans.
Come see us.